The views, opinions, and representations expressed on the Kagos Radio Network and its website are those of the host, guest, and participants. UFO Talk Radio can, but does not necessarily promote any particular lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or other personal practice. These shows are for entertainment purposes only, and they are not intended to treat or diagnose and/or claim to cure any disease or condition, or give any medical or legal advice. All music is purchased and owned by LGA Broadcasting.
I got the windows rolled down, got the radio up, and I'm heading out of Vegas tonight. And it's a 1:30 on a 4-day run, and the desert is a welcome sight. I can see you there in that dress you wear, and it's keeping my foot on the gas. I drink a gallon of Joe just to make it back home and hold you in my arms at last. There's a full moon shining, lighting up the highway like a beacon to you. If I can make it on time, there's some moonlit stay line, a roll of diesel right on through. Well, my lids are heavy, there's a blue and white Chevy, and it seems he's right on my heels. And I'm leaning into Barstow, I can't drive this slow, yeah, you know how it feels. But the road is made for the big and brave, and may the fellow with the best rig win.
Are you ready? What you are about to experience is real. Right along with us. From deep in the desert of Nevada, The Glenn Larry Show.
I am here, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're going to have a good show tonight, I'll tell you for sure. Hope that your week went very well. Whoever's listening, every time zone that you might be in, and all my ham operators out there and Worldwide Radio Club. Also K6RCL, dear friend of mine in Galita. The nighttime drivers, thank you very much again for the nice letters and a little coffee breaks we have. And to all my radio affiliates out there, radio broadcasters, small low-powered stations and FM AM stations, doing the best they can out there to kind of keep their programming going. So it's all about. If you get a chance to donate to a small station in your area, do so, because they're the little guys and not the big guys. They're the little guys in your community to take care of your community. That's right. All the podcasters out there that heard all over the world, we thank you for you guys listening to, of course, YouTube and Facebook. Do subscribe, like, and follow us, because we'd love to have you. That helps us out also. Keep tuning in and listening to every time zone that you're in. Tell your folks, tell your friends, and again, welcome to the show. I'm Glenn Larry Glenn Anderson. And you can find us on Facebook and YouTube under K-Ghost, Larry Glenn Anderson _ Glenn Larry. It's all there. Yes, had a great week. Visited a lot of good friends. My godson had a birthday. Went out and had a great time with the family. I'll tell you, I love that family so much. They're mine. I claim them. Yeah, they're just sweet kids. So they're 21 now. They're grown men. Yes, they are. My God boys, our children are doing very well, and I'm very proud of them. And they'll continue doing that, of course. Okay, also want to say hello to Chris and Val out there, and to all those folks. I want to say hello to Canada. Canada's come up again on our screen as I look over on the radio side. Thank you so very much. And, of course, to Neil and Barbara over there in London, England. Yes, across the pond. And to Randy in PA, of course, Kennedy in Florida. Hope you'll call in tonight. We'll see what happens. Chief Hall in Avondale, Station 23, the EMS firefighters over there. We thank you so very much what you guys do. All the firefighters out there, all EMS, from wherever you're at, we do thank you. If you're having an anniversary or a birthday today, we wish you happy anniversary and happy birthday from K-Ghost Radio and myself. The weather's been pretty good, I'll tell you for sure. 65 today, not bad. We're across the United States. It's getting snow. 2 below here and there. I'm on the ham radio talking to everybody, and they're telling me the weather, and they're jealous of my weather. And of course, I like a little snow, but our snow doesn't stay around very long. I'll tell you sure. It goes within one night in the morning. There's your snow. Next in the afternoon, it's gone because of the weather. Of course, that happens. But it does get cold in the desert at night on the summer times. Very cold. Unbelievable cold. Have you been watching the skies? Have you been seeing anything? Well, I've had some reports from some folks that they've been seeing a lot of stuff. And I don't normally do this, but tonight's show is about UFOs and, of course, underwater unknowns objects. Uh, the Navy has a big report out just lately. You've probably read about. They call it UUOs, unidentified underwater objects. And the oceanographic researchers are working very close to the Navy. They have their own team, of course, and seeing more and more underneath the basis that they think that may be underneath the water. They might be in the sea. They think that there's a base down there of these objects because they're coming out of the waters and they're flying. And a lot of people are seeing this. People that have boats, chartered people, merchant marine people have seen it. Navy sees it all the time. Big threat to the Navy. Who are they? What are they? And of course, we see the UFOs in the sky. But where do they come from? Are they from space? Are they here? I don't know. But I've wondered big time. We'll be back right after this.
Mom, you wanted to talk to me?
The calendar hypnosis into thumbtack cushion, completely tailwind. And sewing elephants plant before cartoon paper cups. So numbers renovate.
If your teenager is trying drugs or alcohol, would you know the right words to use?
Afterward, lightly fish scale. Doorbell.
Find out what to say at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
There's no typical meth user. I was from an upper middle class family. Meth is terribly addictive. My first time using it, I was hooked. There was no turning back. I lost my job and I was homeless. I never thought I'd see my family again. I have a great fear of meth because it took so much of me. I mean, it took everything. Meth took over my soul.
Visit our website at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for a Drug-Free America.
Okay, I am back. Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about UFOs, USOs. I met a gentleman many months ago, and he's in the Air Force. And we were talking about UFOs and all that. And he mentioned something about his brother-in-law. And I said, well, tell me the story. He told me a little bit about it, and it caught my interest. And I said, let me give this guy a call. I don't normally do this, but we're going to call him, kind of a cold call thing, and see if we can get him on the air. I'm hoping he would. I hope that his brother-in-law talked to him. So I'm going to go over here, and I'll make this call. Here we go. Let's see how this works out. Let's see here. It's ringing good. Hope he answers. Captain Randy. What's his name? As it rings.
Hello?
Hello, is this Captain Randy?
Yes, it is.
Well, this is Glenn Larry. This is Glenn Larry, Larry Glenn Anderson, and you're probably wondering how I got this number. I got this number from your brother-in-law Tom, and I've had
my nephew.
Your nephew. I just got that wrong. Your nephew. And the question is, I know that you don't want to talk much about this. He told me that you'd be kind of rough with this one. But I do have a radio show. We talk about UFOs and
Yeah. He told me about you. You're the UFO guy.
Yeah. They call me that too. But your story was so unique. What he told me, and with kitten gloves on a conversation on the radio, if you don't mind. A lot of people are listening. If you're not afraid of that, but what happened? My God, the story I got from him is unbelievable, and I want my listening audience to hear this. I know you're a private person, but could you just share something with us tonight? I know it's kind of off the cuff here, but could you? Would you mind talking a little bit about it?
Larry, I'll be honest with you. I'm surprised Tom even said anything about it. I'm really apprehensive about telling anybody anything about this. As you know, Tom works over at the Air Force Base over there, and he told me that it could be some kind of military craft or something. I told him about it, and he said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell my friend Larry."
He
And
did.
I said, "Well, I don't know if that's a good idea or not."
Well,
But,
you know,
here you are. So
yeah, you wouldn't mind just sharing
I
a little bit. I know it's
I can tell you a little bit about it, but I don't have any proof to substantiate what happened. For one, it's kind of a really wild story. So I went back the next day and I saw like there was some chipped paint on the front of the boat, and that's about it. And my watch had stopped. So
well. Let's
if I was to
let's kind of start by the beginning. How this happened.
Okay, Larry, I'm real apprehensive about telling
That's okay.
anybody
That's
about
okay.
this. So we're going to have to leave
There's
names and everything
all
out
right,
of it.
but there's
I
many
can tell you a little bit.
there's many stories like yours out there, and everybody's coming out of the woodwork and they're talking about it, especially fishermen. Now you're a captain of the boat, and you take charters out. And whereabouts do you go with your charters?
I go all over. I run out of Dana Harbor, and that night we were heading out to Catalina.
Oh.
We were going to go do a little fishing early in the morning, so we left. We wanted to do a little squid jigging to pick up some bait, and that's when everything happened.
How long? It's been about last year sometime. What about what? How long has it been since this happened?
It was in October
Okay,
of last year.
not too far away. Um, when this happened to you, had you just left the harbor, or whereabouts did this happen when this experience that you had? And tell us about it, please.
Do you want me to start from the beginning?
Yes, I would, if you don't mind, so everybody can get a feel of it.
Okay. So here it is, about 9 o'clock at night, and I had my two clients on board the boat, and we were held up that night because my first mate, I usually have a kid that helps me bait up, and he helps the anglers reel the fish in and chums and whatnot. He had called in and said he couldn't make it, so it's really weird how this happened. As luck had it, I was just peering out over the dock, and I saw this older gentleman. He looked like he was about maybe 68 to 75 years old, and he was hunched over, and he came walking down, and he said, "Hey, looks like you guys need some help." I thought he was a homeless guy or something. And his name was Wade.
Wade.
I remember his name was Wade. And at first, I was like, well, I don't know this. I don't know this guy. He says, "Oh yeah, I work around here all the time." And I said, "Well, do you know anything about fishing?" I said, "My first mate is called in, and I guess I could use your help if you know what you're doing." But I said, "Well, how much would you charge me? If we went out, we're gonna be fishing and coming back tomorrow afternoon."
Right.
And he said, "Oh, how about $150?" So the price was right with me. So he hopped aboard. We took off, and we traveled about, I'm going to say about 5 miles.
Okay. 5 miles.
5 miles north
Were there other boats, other craft out there, or boats out there? What about when you were out there?
Well, it took us a while. Nothing really happened. It was a very, very calm evening, very clear. And it's really, really a far-fetched story. Larry, is it right?
Yeah, Larry or Glenn Larry, either one.
Yeah. It's Tom might have told you it was a really far-fetched story.
Well, we get these.
We're heading out. Go ahead.
We get stories like this, but this is what it's all about: letting people know. We get a lot of stuff like this. I mean, you've got to hear our show. It's unbelievable the stories that we get, and I believe them. Go ahead, my friend.
Well, if I didn't live through it, I wouldn't have believed it myself, to be quite honest with you. So here we are. It's a full moon. We're traveling out overseas. We get to the area. I said, all right, let's let the lines out and see what we can do. We were going to fish on the backside of Catalina.
Right.
And we were going to harbor it in Avalon Harbor over there overnight. So we put out the squid jigs and everything at this point. My two anglers, they were wanting to help. They were sitting down, drinking a couple beers, smoking some cigarettes. Here goes Wade throwing out the lines, casting out the ganyons, trying to get some squid for some bait. And I looked over. Something caught my eye over to the left of the boat. I don't know why I looked over there. I was really the only one that seen it. And lo and behold, way deep down underwater, I'm going to say, it had to be maybe around 50, 60 feet down.
Wow.
I saw this green light. And, out there we're used to iridescent trails stirring up the water.
Yeah, I've seen that.
So sometimes you can mistake things like that. I thought that's what it was at first. I thought maybe it could have been, a deep sea fish coming up or something with phosphorescence on it. But I'll tell you, Larry, it went right by.
Under your ship, on your boat. How fast do you think it was going?
I don't know, 25 knots.
Wow.
30 knots.
And did everybody see that happen?
Well, the funny thing is Wade was in the front of the boat. The two guys, my clients, were in the back of the boat. They were sitting down in the chairs.
Yep.
And they had their poles out in the water. And I was the first one that saw it. As it came by the boat the first time, Wade was staring out at the water, and he looked at me. And it went by so quick. He said, "Did you see that, Randy?" And I said, "Yeah, I did." "What the heck was that?" He says, "I don't know. I don't know what it was. It could have been like, the squids get the phosphorescence, and there's some pretty big ones out there. They can go pretty fast sometimes. But I tell you, it looked like it was too big to be a squid to me. So
is a squid green or whatever color it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they changed green to orange, and
okay, now tell me, if you saw these colors, how bright were these colors? I mean, you're looking deep, but when this thing came by you, I mean, did it change colors by itself, or what happened? I would have been blown away, man.
It looked like a round, like a kind of almost like a formless ball just going really fast, and then boom, it was gone. then Wade was getting a little nervous at this time. He started shaking. The two guys in the back didn't know, so Wade started going, hey, did you guys see that? Did you guys see that?
Huh.
They said, what? They walked up to the front of the boat, and I didn't know what to think. I was kind of, wow, kind of little. The guys in the back of the boat, they were smoking a joint. And
I see.
so they were like, whoa. Well, just when everybody started discounting what happened, here it comes again. This time it was closer to the top of the water.
Okay.
Whoa! Went right by the boat again. This time it was probably, I'm going to say, the top of whatever it was 20 feet down. And in the blink of an eye, boom, it was gone. That fast again.
Huh.
And now, at this point, Wade starts shaking and shaking and shaking. And I'm looking at him, and this guy, I'm like, oh my gosh, is this guy going to have a heart attack on the boat? Here comes the guys in the back, running up, yelling and screaming. And I'm like, guys, calm down. I didn't say anything. I was getting ready to go in the back of radio or something. I didn't know what this was.
Were you scared too?
And then,
Were you scared also? Come on. I mean, you
yeah.
had it together.
Yep. I'm not going to bullshit you.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I was scared. I've heard stories out in that area, about military research craft or I don't really believe in UFOs too much, to be quite honest with you.
Do you now?
Well, hard to say because the really, really weird part, what happened is it came back again and it stopped right in front of the boat. I'm not kidding you. I mean, right in, and then it rose up, probably, I'm going to say 50 feet in the air above the bow. And then it came towards the stern, moved back towards the front of the boat, and Wade was just looking at it. The two Fisher guys now, they didn't say a word. This thing's 50 feet up, and it looked like it didn't have any shape. It looked almost like a plasma ball. If a ball of, like if you were to shoot a Roman candle off and you see like the fireballs that come out, that's about the closest way that I could explain it, except that it was just spinning around in the middle, and it was hovering right over the front of the boat. And the guys that we took out, they were screaming and yelling. They ran right in the cabin. Didn't see them anymore. I was out there, and I look, and here's Wade standing out at the tip of the boat, looking up into the sky, and all I can see is him staring up, and he was sitting there frozen. I think he even pissed his pants on.
Well,
So,
did you grab him? What'd you do? I mean, he's standing there. I'd freaked out. I'd probably hypnotized or something.
I ran. I ran like hell, and I ran to the wheel, and I was going to go grab the radio, and I was shaking, and the other guys were like laying on the ground, and I was looking out the front window, and Wade's just standing there basking in the.
God, terrifying.
It looked almost like there were sparks coming out and dissipating as they would hit the water, and Wade's silhouette was lit up by the light that was put up by whatever this thing was. And this happened for about two straight seconds. And then all of a sudden, I looked up and I saw this. It looked like a light square in the sky, and it looked like it was maybe 150 feet up at about maybe 25 degrees. Probably, I'm going to say at about 1:30 in the sky, spot-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The square opens up right out of nowhere, and then this ball of light or whatever it is, you heard a poof, and it just went like that, went into the square of light, and the square of light closed in a second. This happened like in a flash of an eye, closed and disappeared, and that was it.
Unbelievable. Now, what happened to Wade? This new deck guy you had. What happened to him?
Well, he was still standing out there, frozen solid.
Mm-hmm.
And I started screaming, hey, Wade, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then he snapped out of it. I said, here, man, Wade, here, have a beer.
Yeah, I guess. I would have more than that. Tell you the truth. So what?
Needless to say, the fishing trip was canceled.
I get that. Let me ask you this. I would think so, but what fell on your ship and it fell in the water? Can you describe some of that a little bit to me? What? And it was coming out of the craft. Was it showering down just on your boat?
It looked like almost sparklers from light from a sparkler.
Yeah.
But it was like right before it got to the boat or the water, it would fade out and disappear. But it didn't. It was just like a smooth blue color. It didn't look like it was hot.
Yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, I believe it, but wow. Now you got back to shore. How long did it take you? Were you hauling ass to get back to shore? What was your demeanor there when it happened? Were you trying to get the guys to calm down? Of course, they're probably slamming.
It took us about 23 minutes to get back to port.
Oh boy.
And
Interesting.
Everybody was, of course, I was piloting the boat.
Right.
Everybody else, Wade was down with the
boys.
The two anglers that we had taken on.
Right.
And I don't really know. I just know that I was shaken, and I don't know what they were doing, but I know when we finally arrived at the berth,
mm-hmm.
the two anglers grabbed their stuff, hopped out of the boat, and started walking really, really fast. And I said, "Hey, you guys!" I screamed, "You guys don't worry about paying." They just kept walking. I never saw them again.
Oh my God! Oh, now where's Wade at this time? What's he doing?
So Wade still wouldn't come out of the cabin. So I said, Wade, we're docked now. Are you gonna help me dock the boat? Are you gonna help me dock the boat? He wouldn't come out of there. I had to pull the boat up and tie the lines myself.
Right. Unbelievable.
And then I was really, really shaken up myself. And this is really, really the kicker. At this point, I had noticed that my watch had frozen.
Okay.
I didn't ask anybody else. I don't think Wade had a watch. I didn't ask anybody else about that. But after I saw that, I was like,
what time was it now? What time was it after you noticed your watch stopped? I mean, do you think you lost time with this situation? Are you on time? I mean, of course, you cut the trip short, but how much do you think you lost any time?
About 9:45 is what it was.
Uh-huh. And when this happened,
I know because it's still at 9:45.
Okay. So is it an electronic watch, or is it just a regular dial watch or self-winding watch? What type of watch is it?
Just a regular battery-operated Invicta.
Okay. Did you notice any electrical problems on your boat after this happened, or what's anything going on unusual with your boat right now, or had been during that time?
Well, that night I didn't I didn't really see anything. However, like I told you, I went over the next day to investigate further, and I did see that it looked like the paint in the front of the boat had like some pitting on it, almost like what you would get if you were to try to sandblast something, but
Right.
uh, you used maybe more coarse sand and
Right.
a lot fewer marks than you would get as well. But it was like speckled, like if you were to take paint and splatter it on like silver paint, if you were to splatter it on a white surface or something like that, it kind of looked like that.
Do you know anybody has a Geiger type of counter that can see if there's anything going on there that might be?
That's a good idea. I haven't even thought
Yeah.
of doing anything. I just kind of like I know it's pretty close to Camp Hamilton and
Yeah.
all this and that. I've heard stories, so I know there's a
Radiation.
lot of weird stuff that goes out there with the military. So
Right.
I don't know. I do know. Another weird thing is Wade. I told Wade, I said, well, if you want me to pay you, buddy, you're going to have to clean some of this mess up in here and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, hey, I'm going to walk out. I'm going to go, over to the parking lot.
Right.
And, and grab a couple beers because everybody had drank them all by the time we got there. We only had like 10 beers.
Right.
So,
Well, I put it
so
pretty fast. Wow.
So I was walking back up, and I kept an eye on the exit. There's the exit there that everybody has to go through to access those berths.
Uh-huh.
And so I walked up to the boat, and I couldn't find Wade anywhere. It's like I didn't even pay him. I don't know what happened to him.
He just
I really
booked.
don't.
He just booked and left.
I don't know. I don't know what he did. I don't know. And I haven't, seen him since out there or anything. He's just.
Oh my gosh.
It was very, very, very strange.
So last time you saw him he was on the boat, on the ship, and he was working at that time when you saw him.
Yeah, he was cleaning stuff up like I had told him to.
So you never heard of him since. My God, that's unbelievable.
I've never seen him before out there, actually.
Yeah, he just got a
And,
job from him. Yeah. My gosh. Never got paid either. Boy, he probably's got a heck of a memory of this one. I'll never forget this fishing trip.
Yeah, neither will I.
Oh my gosh. Would you mind, Captain Randy, if we could open the lines up? And I'm sure a lot of people out there want to ask questions. And let me open the lines up. Would that be okay with you?
Yeah. Hold on. Go ahead. Let me tell my wife that I'm gonna be busy for a few minutes.
All right,
okay?
we'll do.
Hold on.
We'll go to commercial. We'll go to commercial and come out of it.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, unbelievable.
Violence, theft, drugs, graffiti. It's all part of joining a gang. In times like these, we need to protect our children and our community from gangs. Gangs often prey on unsupervised teens with low self-esteem, who perform poorly in school, who seek a sense of belonging, or are simply bored. Joining a gang often involves violent hazing rituals. Once in a gang, members can become alienated from their families, school, and friends. Drugs, guns, and malicious activity are common elements in gangs. Trying to leave a gang can be a difficult and dangerous process. The best way to get out of a gang is never to join one. Protect kids from being recruited by a gang. Know who they're hanging out with. Involve kids in after-school activities and provide positive role models. Help reduce gang activities in your community by working with local law enforcement and school systems. Don't let a kid you know get involved with gangs. Visit ncpc.org to learn more or contact your local law enforcement agency.
A message from the U.S. Department of Justice, National Crime Prevention Council, and the Ad Council.
So much going on right now with food prices and things going on. And I mean, everything's high. We got a caller coming in. I'll be right with you, caller. All right. Caller, we'll be right with you. Stand by. So please, if you get a chance, go to your local restaurants, go to your local food places, and support them. The small restaurant, this guy is really trying to make a go of it. Things are high. Yeah. Okay, caller, what's your name? And let's see if we got Captain. Are you back, Captain? Captain?
Yes.
Okay, we have a caller. Caller, what's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Ken from Florida.
Okay, Ken, go ahead. You have a question for Captain Randy.
Buddy, I believe everything you're saying. I heard about that same thing coming from the Gulf of America now.
There you go.
I mean, I've heard it. I've never seen it. But I've been closer to one than maybe you've ever been. You don't want to get too close. You can time the rest while it's not something you forget. You're going to live with it every day for the rest of your life.
Now,
did anybody give you any idea what that phenomena is?
Well, the military they kind of covered that up, and then later on in years, it was in the newspaper at first, but then later on in years, it kind of like disappeared out of the newspaper, out of the archives. This happened in 1967, and I tried in early 2000 to find that in the newspaper because I know it was in there from when I was young. All that stuff is gone. It's going from the police station, and all the police are dead that was there that night. The tow truck driver that took the damaged cruiser car, he's gone. Everybody's gone. So I'm one that's still left there, and I know one other person that was still aware of what happened there that night. It just, it was a strange one, but this was on land. This wasn't in the water. This thing come down and landed, and within 2 minutes, the military was there, and they kind of walked around and took some pictures, but they didn't want to go inside. The door was open. They could have went in. There wasn't no lights inside. I don't know what was in there. Whatever was in there had to be awful little. And then they kind of left. And then the military left.
Now,
I was only 300 foot from it, and I got something that took my wife 50-some years before she decided to cut my back and see what I was complaining about all those years. She took some type of probe out.
Let me go to that probe. I have that. It's here. Listeners out there, we're going to pull up that picture of this probe, this thing that was in his back. I think I still have it. Oh yeah, here it is, right here. And this is what came out of your Ken's back. You see how that? And it's big. It looks a little bigger than it is, but this is a close picture of it. And unbelievable, man. It's like a probe. I mean, people all over are finding that they go to a doctor and they say, I've had this lump, I have this in my skull or somewhere. They get it out and it wants to go back in, doesn't want to come out. And finally they get it out and it's a probe of some sort. I mean, unbelievable stuff. Captain Randy, did you have any military flight around you after that or anything of military around you or come since that you experienced?
There was a helicopter that came by, but it was like way out in the distance. I mean, it was not like it was right over us. You could just barely see the lights and barely hear it, and it was way off in the distance. That's about it.
Yeah, unbelievable. Ken, of course, Ken saw all the different people too. So that's unbelievable. Gosh, I tell you, what an experience! What an experience!
I'll tell you, it's like that song, by the Monkees. I'm a believer, or somewhat of a. I'm about as big a believer as I could be, I guess.
Right.
I would say.
Well, you better believe it because they're real. I mean, they're there. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it land and I've seen it leave.
I've seen.
And it's real. I even went there. I think it was last summer, and I took pictures of the area and I sent Larry the pictures because it's enough
changed. It's a
We have Ken.
radio transmitting tower.
Hang on, Ken. We have
It's funny. It's just.
Ken, hang on. We have another caller. Caller, you're
Okay.
on. Caller, you're on the air. Go ahead with your question for Captain Randy. We also have Ken on the line. Go ahead. You're live.
This is Ed, Larry.
Hello, Ed. How we doing? You're live now. Go ahead.
I'm doing wonderful. The
go ahead.
gentleman that you have on the air right now.
Go ahead.
About the UFOs coming out of the water between SoCal and California. Catalina.
Okay.
It's true.
Well, there you go.
They're starting to talk about it now.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard.
And also, you have to remember that they're saying Catalina is part of the land of the giants.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yeah, there you go.
I would believe everything that this gentleman says. I really would. I have no doubt, not to say that he's wrong or anything else. Well, you know what I have. I believe everything this gentleman is saying is true.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do too. My gosh, and I'm sure that Ken does also.
Well, Larry, they don't believe it. The Gulf of Mexico is almost 5,000 feet deep, but it's the Gulf of America now. It's 5,000 foot deep water.
Yeah.
And I heard they come up out of that water, they don't even splash.
Wow.
Right. When I went to Costa Rica, I talked to a gentleman at his resort where we stayed, and he said that there is a lake that's in Costa Rica that does house aliens. So, look, people have talked about the unsavoriness people. They've talked about all these other things. So what's to say that this guy, is not telling the truth?
Well, I believe him.
I believe him wholeheartedly. I believe him 100%.
I believe him too.
Yeah. Here's a guy who owns a boat, and he's out there. Stuff happens at sea. He was telling me about the squids that turn colors. I never heard that before, but that's interesting. I know if you drop ice into the water, a block of ice, boy, you're going to see some pretty colors in the seawater. It's quite interesting. But, yeah, unbelievable. I just,
Well, you guys, I really appreciate your support because when you go through something like this, I got to tell you, it makes you doubt your sanity to a certain degree. That's why I went over to the boat the next day.
It really does. And the thing about it is, I want to say thank you for stepping up and saying something because a lot of people don't. And I support you 110%. Larry knows me.
Oh, yeah.
He's seen my pictures.
Oh, yes.
And I commend you for coming up and stepping up to the plate and saying what you saw. For telling everybody. You think I doubt you? No. I believe in you. And that's the thing that I like. People like you that can come up and say, look at this. And honestly, be truthful.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Stories like this are coming out more and more and more and more. They're showing up more and more. The Navy's concerned. It's security, man. They are just, and they have all these special guys out there and searching the oceans, and they really believe it's the base down there. They really believe it. And I do too. Are they coming from space or are they coming from here? I know they come from the sky when we see them, but hey, how about that? What do you think, Ed? Gentlemen?
I'm going to send you something after the show.
Okay, please do.
That my friend sent me.
All righty.
And there is a triangulated craft that we have designed that is ours.
Yes.
Yes.
I've seen that.
I believe in the guy and I trust this person.
Right.
So I'll send it to you later, which I should have sent it to you a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe it's out there. The only reason why people, or why the government, I should say, will not release it is because we, the people, wherever you are in this world, which is a great world, we're too immature to accept that there are alien beings. Also, the other thing is, it really debunks our beliefs as far as our faith.
Right.
And that's, I believe.
it'll change
there
a
is
lot of people's minds about a
just
lot
like
of things.
everybody else.
Well, again, Ken, I want to thank you for calling in. Ken?
Well, it was nice to talk to you. And it's nice that other people seen the same thing or similar
Yes,
things. You know,
it is.
A bit from experience and what I had. I mean, I guess you could say too close, but that's okay. I'm here and I'm going to tell a story. And it happened August 27th, 1967. I'm not going to take that away from my mind. I mean, I live with it every day.
Yeah, I know you
What
do.
that thing was in my back.
Yeah.
They the doctor called it shrapnel. I said, "Where the hell did it fall out of the sky?" I didn't understand that. I said, "Anti-magnetic scramble." It was shrapnel, not magnetico.
Wow.
Well, you have a good one.
Thank you
tell
so
those
much.
guys, and I believe the stories are telling.
Yeah, we'll leave the line open for another caller. Thank you so very much,
You too,
Ken.
Ken.
Bye-bye,
Good
sir.
talk. Okay, guys.
Bye-bye. Great guy. And I'll tell you, his story is unbelievable. When I say unbelievable, it freaks you out to hear these true stories from a person that tells the whole truth about what happened. And a lot of these people don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying, gentlemen? They don't talk about it. And
they're too afraid.
Yeah. Captain,
people are too afraid to say what they see.
Right.
They're too afraid to believe in what they believe in.
Right.
And that's why the government won't let a lot of this out, because, most people can't accept it.
Right.
If people could accept it, it would be out there. You have to remember, back in Eisenhower,
Let me ask.
back in the 50s, he supposedly talked to him.
I heard that too. I heard that he was supposed to go to the dentist and he met with these aliens. Now, Captain Randy, you still on the line? I hope. Yeah, didn't hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Do you now believe yourself? I mean, I'm quite sure you changed something in your mind, because you said before.
Well, I've taken done a little research, and I can't quite find any technology that would conform to
Right.
what I saw that night. So either there's some real secret advanced stuff that we know about, or I have to admit it. It's got to be some kind of creation that's, it's not our technology. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mm-hmm. More and more
So
people.
Can I chime in and say something, please?
Sure, good. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, and I know you're
Randy.
probably running under alias because you don't want your name out there.
We'll call him Captain Randy.
Captain.
Is that okay?
Captain Randy.
I went to Area 51. My wife at the time said, since I was an ex-photographer for a couple of magazines,
Big
and
magazines.
DMV was running a contest. So we went to Area 51. Put everything back on the map. Okay? I took a picture that shows so much. It's unbelievable. Larry believes in it. I gave it to Larry.
Yep, I've showed it on the air
Yeah.
too.
So
Let's see here. I can see
there is
that.
so much stuff out there that is just a question. I mean, I'm standing there's a dirt road. On the other side of the dirt road where the sign is, it's all asphalt. Okay? And I'm sitting there trying to comprehend everything. Next thing I see is all this dust. And everything disappears. I take one picture, and one picture has everything in it. So, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, thank you for stepping forward. Thank you for being out there. Because if it wasn't for people like you, me, and Larry, nobody would believe it. But they won't release it because we're too immature to accept it. And that's the sad part.
Yes. Let me.
With everything that you have today, the device that you have in your hand, where'd that come from? We're not that smart.
It's crazy. Let me give this number out one more time, gentlemen. Stand by.
To talk with Glenn Larry, Deep in the desert of Nevada, lines are open at 1-702-874-1114. That's 702-874-1114. Now.
And we are back with Captain Randy, and we have Ed on the line. What a show. Recap, fisherman, man, it's been a captain of a boat for many years, and he sees a UFO, USO under his boat. And what a story it has been all night, I'll tell you for sure. We're getting some calls. The lines are open. You'll see the number up there on the screen. Don't be afraid to call. Ed, you experienced your stuff at Area 51, and you probably saw some other stuff after that. I can't blow this picture up, and I'm trying to, but I've got some good pictures. And what's behind that truck is not a human being. Unbelievable.
Well,
it was
the
great.
funny thing is, before we went out to Area 51, I saw everything on the History Channel.
Mm.
The white Chevy truck, extended cab. They would bring it out on a tractor trailer rig.
Mm-hmm.
They would drop it off and it'd sit there. And what they said was, on the weekends, these aliens were guards.
I don't
we just
know.
happened to go on the weekend.
Yeah.
And we just happened to see the wife pickup truck.
Right.
But my ex-wife was the one that started everything, because over a DMV thing, and I used to shoot for 2 major magazines, automotive, in California.
Right.
So I'm the last. There's 3 of us: myself, my ex-wife, and my neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the last one to get a picture under the sign. Well, the truck disappeared. I went, something's up here.
Yeah.
So I dropped my 200, unfortunately, on the seat and ran up with just my 50 and took a picture.
Mm.
You have the picture, and that thing speaks 1,000 words. But everything that was on the History Channel, everything that everybody said, is true.
Mm-hmm.
It's a white pickup truck. You open the door, and between the A-pillar and the door, you see a gray.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
there's so much in one picture.
I've got a photo here, but I can't blow it up for some reason. We'll do that later. But
I mean, it's crazy. But here's the crazy part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was standing at where it's asphalt and dirt.
Mm-hmm.
And I look down the asphalt road and I see dust, but I don't hear nothing, see nothing.
Interesting.
So, when I took the picture and everything, if you look, you can see an alien craft and all these little Martians, whatever they are, walking up to it. You know,
you have a photo of that? Do you have a photo?
The guy that's on right now, with what he says, you can go back in history, and a lot of people are talking about giants on Catalina Island.
Mm-hmm.
Between Catalina and LA, there was an alien base.
Right.
I can't debunk this guy when the stuff that's out there. I mean, I commend the guy for standing up and saying something for once.
Well, I do too, and I'm glad he took my call, because I know he was a little thrown off the bend there that I did call him, because of I had the number. But Randy, Captain, go ahead. You there, Captain?
Well, yes. Yeah. The wife's calling me. I don't mean to cut this short.
No, we do appreciate you, though.
But hey, caller, thank you for your words of affirmation. You don't know how much it means. There's many a night since it happened that I've sat down. If I didn't have the frozen watch and the paint missing on the front of the boat, I wouldn't have. I would have been really, really doubting myself even more. But
I hope you got a new watch, my friend. Because I'd put that one away and save it.
You're more than welcome to call me anytime. I'll give you my number if you see something like that again. You know, I walked out the front door the other night and took a picture and sent it to my cousin, and there was a craft in the air.
Well, they're saying, they are saying, everybody, they're saying that when you take pictures of clouds, you'll see something there once in a while. It'll pop up, or you may see a cloud that looks like a ship and it's actually cloaked itself, but the clouds, for some reason, have gaps around the ship, the UFO. So anything's possible. Again, I want to thank my guest. I want Ed. Thank you so very much, Colin. We'll get back to you, my friend. Thank you so much, Ed. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ed, thank you, buddy.
Appreciate you.
Oh, you're more than welcome. I mean, it's
Larry.
You gotta cut
I wasn't gonna take your call, but I'm glad I did because I feel like I got a big weight off my chest just by talking about it to somebody. Thank you.
All right.
So I want to thank you for taking Larry's call, because you were very receptive at the very beginning, and I didn't think you would, because I didn't know it was going to go down tonight,
I didn't either.
as far as the show goes.
I wasn't sure.
But it's a very enjoyable show, and you added to it. I just want to say thank you very much for taking Larry's call. Thank you very much for expressing your feelings. I mean, we're all in this together.
Oh, we are. More than you think. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Ed, thank you so much.
Please call in again. I'd really like to, maybe you might experience something else tomorrow. You never know.
I'll keep in touch. I'll keep in touch with them. Thank you, Ed.
We live in a wonderful world. Let's enjoy it and experience it.
I love that. Take care, Ed. Great guy. My goodness gracious. Gosh. Well, I thank you so very much for your story. What happened to you? We're going to have more like this, ladies and gentlemen, all my audience out there. So we're working on a lot of different shows, different channels, and you're more than welcome anytime, Captain. May I call you Randy? It's okay. You're the Captain Randy. Randy.
You can call me Randy.
Okay, Randy. I appreciate you. And again, sir, thank you so very much. And we'll be.
You have a good night, Larry.
We'll be in touch. Be well, my friend.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, there you go. All right, folks. It's getting close to the top of the hour, and that's the show. But again, I want to thank the Pioneer Saloon out there in Good Springs, Nevada. If you get a chance, stop by and see them. I'm there once in a while. The place is haunted, I'll tell you for sure. I've seen ghosts. Either the spirits are in the drink or they're around the place. I'll tell you for sure. No, but they have coming up March 1st. I know they're having Mardi Gras things happening out there. I guess it's for a couple of days, whatever. Look at their website, the pioneersaloon.org or Pioneer Saloon. It's their main site, But they're going to have crawfish and all sorts of Louisiana stuff going on. It's going to be a Mardi Gras that you've never seen before. They really celebrate it out there, and that's their thing, and I really enjoy it. And the owner of the place, I know that he is the one and only. Well, if you get a chance, I don't know if I should say this, but the guy's fantastic. Old man lover. Yeah. He has his own whiskey too. Not that bad. But get a chance to say hello, everybody. Like I say, support your local restaurants and do support, of course, your, little stores, family stores. I know prices are up, things are happening, but hopefully that will drop down. Gas is going up and down. The economy's going weird, but let's all stick together, okay? Play well, be well. If you have a story about your UFOs or USOs or ghosts or what have you, you can contact us. We're on the website. Just look at kghostradio.com, and we're all over the place. Again, thank you so much. You all be well. I am Glenn Leary.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army. Army officers found sometime last week has been inspected Roswell.